Anyway, yes, it's a Thursday, and normally it's the day for our fantasy football. Bode has been smiling to the bank. If there was money in this team, Bode would have cashed out. We'll talk about all of that later on the show. But before then, let's just look at some of the matches from yesterday in the Champions League, and then some of the matches from the Europa League and the Conference League later today. Let's go to last night very quickly. We saw Liverpool qualify for the round of 16 of the Champions League. It was a 3-0 victory over Ajax yesterday in the Champions League. Goals from Mohamed Salah, Darwin Nunez, and of course Harvey Elliott. But we did say here yesterday, you said 4-1 if I'm not mistaken. I said 3-1, but we both of us expected Liverpool to be very comfortable here, and that's what happened at the end of the day.
Yeah, and anyone who felt Liverpool will struggle made a great mistake. It was never in doubt that Liverpool will earn all 3 points in this one. And it's a Liverpool side that are gradually getting into their own. Yes, let's forget at the league form, but on the continent, they're beginning to get right in there. And I'm particularly just very excited for Darwin Nunez. He's come under the stick so much this season, but he's beginning to show that he's learning, to play the Liverpool way. Basically, he's beginning to get the goals as well. And getting a comfortable win away at Ajax is a good result, and hopefully that would also propel them in the league to actually affect the current form at the moment, because the form they are showing is actually relegation form. So good win for Liverpool.
Stephen, as a Liverpool fan, so let me come to you. As a Liverpool fan, would you say that formation from Jurgen Klopp yesterday is Liverpool's best formation now, given all the injuries and all the problems they have and how much they've struggled? Is that the best starting lineup for Liverpool, or there's somebody who could come in and add more?
I think this was a very solid lineup, and I like one thing that showed yesterday. Liverpool were a more aggressive side. Got 9 fouls in total. Injuries are what they are. You depend on people like your hard tackling midfielders. What I wouldn't give for a Makelele. That slipped out. But yeah, so this is the best Liverpool can do at the moment. If by some miracle, I call it a miracle at this point, if Naby Keita manages to show up in that form he had that made Liverpool interested in him, he'll be an asset to this side.
All right, we'll see what happens there. But again, it was a good victory for Liverpool. Dion, let me come to you. Spurs walking a tightrope, but then again, all they have to do in their next match is avoid defeat and they'll go through. But then again, their form has not been good.
You mean not too late?
well, I think they'll go through. But they were behind in that game against Sporting Lisbon and needed a late goal from Harry Kane to, was it Harry Kane? Can't remember.
I mean, it was Bentancur that got the goal.
Bentancur. Harry Kane had a goal that was chopped off, actually. But again, Spurs' form has not been all that great this season, particularly in the last few weeks.
I mean, Spurs really at that side, very inconsistent, my goodness. When you expect them really to play a certain kind of way, they always just come and just do the opposite. And this one was a home fixture. You expected them, to go well against a Sporting side that have actually not been at their best form on the continent so far this season. And playing at home, you expected them, to bounce back from that, I would say, defeat over the weekend to Newcastle and at least show some sort of statement on the continent, but it wasn't to be, and it looked like Sporting were able to go on with it, if not for that equalizer from Rodrigo Bentancur in the second half. And they almost thought, they had turned the game completely on its head with the Harry Kane winner, which was just met with a lot of raucous scenes over there. But then again, VAR was their undoing at the end of the day, and we just led to some sort of melee at the end of the game, which wasn't good, so to speak. But Spurs are still top of the table. It's a very, very close group, to be honest. I think just about 2 points separate the top three sides. And Spurs, in their next game, their final group game of this season's Champions League, need to ensure that at least a draw will see them qualify to the knockout stages. But I'm sure they would want to win that so they can qualify top of that group. It was a bad one for Spurs, but at the end of the day, it wasn't completely doom and gloom. A draw, and they're still top of the table. They just need a draw in their next match to be guaranteed access to the knockout stages. So there are a lot of positives there, but it wasn't a good performance. All
right, let's go to tonight's action in the Europa League. PSV will be at home to Arsenal. Arsenal won the first leg 1-0, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Granit Xhaka who got that goal in this one. Yeah. And they're traveling to the Philips Stadion later this evening, 5:45 p.m. Nigerian time. Again, these Dutch sides, as good as they are in the Netherlands, whenever they come to major European competitions, they tend to struggle. But we expect Arsenal to be too strong here.
We saw the rescheduled game last week, and Arsenal were all over PSV, and everyone would expect maybe this time around at the Dutch side playing at home, maybe they would put their best foot forward but for Arsenal, we know the rotation will still happen. But again, they have enough in reserve basically to go to Holland and actually get a result. We've seen how Arsenal have played this season, and for that reason, I'm expecting them to to get all 3 points once again. It might not be easy as it was last week, but again, Arsenal will have enough quality in there to actually get the result.
All right, Gian,
yeah, just quickly, I want to add something to what Bode said. As much as I would expect Arsenal to maybe have the quality to at least get 3 points, some variables there might say otherwise. Firstly, they've already qualified out of the group into the knockout stages, so you would expect Mikel Arteta to somewhat ring the changes a lot and tinker with that squad. Secondly, PSV are undefeated in their last 6 games at home in all competitions. They've won 5, they've drawn 1, so it's going to be a tricky one for Arsenal. And considering the fact that they've already qualified, they wouldn't want to field some of their best players ahead of, let's not forget, the fixtures over the weekend in the league and also the World Cup that's coming. So you expect them to make changes, and I think those changes might be Arsenal's undoing if they're not careful. So I would say if Arsenal were to come out of this, I would see them taking a draw, but I don't see them winning.
Let me stick with you for this one. Manchester United. Can they shoot the sheriff? Tonight. I'm not the deputy. What can we expect from United against Sheriff tonight?
Hopefully they're not going to misfire. Hopefully they're not going to misfire. And but the previous leg at Moldova ended in a 2-0 victory for Manchester United. Now United, get to host this side, a Sheriff side at Old Trafford. The good news is that Cristiano Ronaldo is probably going to feature in this one for United, even though a lot has been said about his future and all that, but we're not going to talk about that. And I think his presence in that squad would add some immense quality. Unfortunately, they will be without Varane. Fortunately for the player, that hasn't been ruled out of the World Cup, but would not feature for United till the end of this particular window before the World Cup commences. And I'm expecting United to get a victory against the Sheriff one, and it should be a convincing victory with the kind of firepower they have, and they want to qualify top of that group. They need to ensure that they win some of their games, and Sheriff have struggled this season. They would know that coming against this United side at home is going to be a very tough task. And so to add quickly, Sheriff coach Stefan Thomas has resigned days before this game, probably just throwing some casting some doubt on that team and how they'll perform. So I'm expecting United to go all out and win this one at Old Trafford comfortably.
Stephen, let's go to West Ham in the Conference League right now. West Ham have shown some good form lately actually. They've totally revamped their season. They've recovered, or what's it called? What's the word now?
Renaissance.
They are resurgent lately. They're in the top 10 in the Premier League now. Against Silkeborg at home, you expect them to just get the win later tonight.
It's always good to see romantic stories like this. My favorite West Ham player actually is not playing tonight.
Who?
Lehmann.
Who?
Favorite West Ham player.
Who's that?
Lehmann, jersey number 7.
No, that's
Aston Villa.
And that's a good man.
You see where your mind is going. Can we focus on this match?
The jersey color gets.
Can we focus on the match?
But yes, West Ham will be victorious. I do apologize. So as I was saying, it's always good to see the romantic resurgence of some of the more popular, I guess for me, popular English clubs. West Ham is one of them. The Conference League is an opportunity for you to win a European crown. So we're all West Ham tonight.
All right, let's go on a break now. When we come back from this break, we will now focus fully on the fantasy football. Bode's pride. We have to puncture Bode's pride. We'll come back.
This was me a couple of weeks ago.
Enjoyed this video? Hit the subscribe button for more. Leave a comment and like. Thank you.